All right, YouTubers, welcome back to the hauler. It's Mike again. I'm tired. All right, so we have been busting our butts over the last 2 weeks. This is now the last pig paddock that we had to do. This one goes all the way through the woods, down over the hill, and comes along the top of the bottom meadow there. And I'll show you this as we walk down through here. So we were able to get this finished, and we were able to get the shipping container moved, and I started working on the area where it was setting to get it ready for inspection coming up next week for site survey through the USDA for greenhouse potential. So this is all in place. Already got some firewood getting cut up for next year in the process, and it's sinus season. You guys have to forgive me the snorting and the coughing and stuff. All right, so this goes clear down over the hill, goes over just a little ways, about 50 yards, and then down over again, and it comes out just below the wood line, about 50 feet, 40 feet out of the woods into the top of the meadow down there. And this meadow down here is where, in the barn, is where the lambs were going to go, hopefully. But all of these woods here, clear out along the bottom, all the way down to the corner. And I know you can't see it from here, but here's the existing paddock they're in there on that side of it. And it'll actually come up and way down there about 100 yards or so, it'll tie into this line here, and they'll have all of this and all of this to run in. All right, so shipping container's moved. It's now sitting down there, down by the barn. It's out of the way. All I have to do with this is tie electric to it, and that's it. And I mean, it's setting right there. I just need to jump electric to it and be done with it. I'll probably come through and just make sure it's tightened up a little enough in all the right places. Make sure it's not sagging too much for when I do tie it in. But it is ready for pigs, and even though I don't have to have pigs in here, the fence is in place, so they should be able to easily approve the spring development over here for water for this and down at the bottom. All right, so yes, the last 2 weeks have been very busy. The only thing I need to do here now is, like I just said, with the electric fence, but for the portion that's going to be on the field side for the lambs, we've got to set 6 wooden posts across through there, and that'll be for the field fence. So, and it doesn't make a difference for the pigs. That's just going to be for the lambs. But there's 6 wooden posts to include 2 gate posts and a corner post to set for the lambs, and then we can start running the field fence and stuff for them, and hopefully finish getting the rest of that finished up sometime in the next couple months. I went ahead and went over and started clearing off the area. Not there was a lot, but just kind of leveled off a little bit there where the shipping container was, to be ready for when they come to inspect it for the greenhouse, because it can have, I think, like 5-degree slope or something, 5% or 5-degree slope. I can't remember what they told me. So anyways, but it's a muddy mess because it rained all day yesterday and just deluged us last night. So it's a muddy mess. Not bad today, but it's overcast really bad. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the 70s and sunny, so that'll be a plus. I got some old hand-cut sandstones out there in that area that I do need to move. I'll just use the tractor, put them in the bucket, and move them out of the way. They're not in the way, but I want to get them out of there just because we're going to start using those in landscaping this year as well. Chicken feed. I did the custom mix that I found on YouTube that not everybody, but a whole group of people said that they've been having great luck with. You know, it's all natural, every grain is identifiable and everything like that. And you guys have seen that video back a few videos ago. And I did that, and within 2 weeks, my chickens stopped laying eggs. Now, that you could say it's coincidence in the timing with the winter and stuff like that, but we've had virtually no winter at all. We've had a little bit of snow and some cold weather, but for the most part, we've had virtually no winter. These chickens are not even old enough to molt yet. They're not even a year old, so they're not old enough to molt yet. So I'm saying it was feed. Now, switching to, I was using Rural King's Country Road brand feed and was having no issues. My hens had just started laying. They were a month apart, both breeds, and was laying fine up until December, when I switched over and started mixing my own feed, and they just pretty much stopped. Now, I went ahead and I bought a 50-pound bag of All-Flock from Rural King. I put 25 pounds of that in the existing feed. I put 10 pounds of Fertile NutriBalancer in there, and I put 5 pounds of Black Soldier Fly larvae. mixed it all in, started feeding that to the chickens. Within a week, I started getting eggs again. Within 2 weeks, I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 10 eggs a day. So it was definitely a lack of protein in that mix. No matter what the custom mix says it is, no matter what the YouTube channel says it was, or all the YouTube mixes, evidently my hens were not getting enough protein from that. Now, also take into consideration that my chickens are in a winter pen. They are in 20-foot runs on deep bedding. They are not out free ranging on grass right now, simply because 2 reasons: of predation issues that I had last year, and I need to get a couple chickshaws built for them to get them out back on the grass this spring. That's how I'm going to use them this year anyways. That's how I'm going to move them around. So if you're free ranging your birds and you switch to this custom mix and you don't have any issues, that's probably why, because they're free ranging. Mine are in winter pens, and like I said, they're on deep bedding, so they're scratching around in there. They're not getting a whole lot in there through the winter other than what I'm feeding them, and that would be that. So probably what I'm going to do is, after this batch of feed is done, is I'm going to go right back to the conventional Rural King feed, and I'll feed them a mix of all flock pellets and the layer pellets. I can't even think. So I'll mix that all together and start feeding that to them again, and hopefully continue with the eggs and see better improvements with my chickens and stuff like that with their nutrition. The pigs, the 2 males, the 2 barrows, we've gotten them done over the last 2 weeks. So like last Saturday, a week ago, we did Pig Demon. He was 335-pound carcass weight, massive amounts of fat on that pig. It was unbelievable. So at 335-pound carcass weight, he was probably about 485 on a hoof. The other one, Pignacious, we just did the other day on Saturday, and we didn't officially weigh him, but he was about 290, 300-pound carcass weight, because there was not much difference in the size of those pigs at all. And so pretty smooth process. Everything came out good, came out how we wanted it. I'm getting ready, I'm probably going to wait 1 more week, and then I'm going to see if I can get the girls moved over with Boris and hopefully get them to start breeding, and that will throw me July litters. So they should, not me. They should farrow sometime in July. And, excuse me, daggone. That would be more preferable for me to start off with, my first litters of pigs, because I don't have to worry about them freezing to death in the winter if they would come early. So July would be good temperatures, I think, for them. And that'll help me continue to learn and get used to them and everything like that in that whole process. Oh, what else? Rabbits, pigs, chickens, fence, shipping containers. So that's really been it. I mean, I am going to go back to a conventional feed for the chickens, and that's just simply because we stopped getting eggs. And I was not feeding them any kind of Tractor Supply feed. I wasn't feeding them Purina. Like I said, it was the Country Roads brand that Rural King uses, and I had no problems with it from the beginning. I just ran across that custom mix, thought, hey, I'll try that. It looks like it's more healthy for the birds anyways, and it turned out that it wasn't. So lesson learned. I'll finish off, and a matter of fact, I'm going to feed them today, and I think about 25 pounds in a 5-pound bucket. So I should have about 50 pounds left in there, and I'll finish that off, and I'm just going to go get conventional feed and start feeding them conventional feed again, because again, we had no issues with eggs when we did that. All right. Pee-wee is growing. He's growing slowly, but he is growing. And I'll get you up here and show you. Getting him out on the grass and everything really done him wonders. And oh, right there they are at the corner. You guys can tell this desperately needs pigs or bulldozer, one or the other, which is another project I've got to get on, getting the bulldozer put back together. Hey. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Boris is definitely growing. He is definitely at the 200-pound, if not more, mark. Hi, buddy. Squeal. You like that when Dad scratches your back, don't you? And I got it on camera, too. Hi, Pee-wee. Hi, buddy. He's actually getting less skittish as well. I've actually been over to reach over and scratch him a few times as well. Except for now. All right, we're not gonna fight. No, we're not gonna fight. Silly boy. All right. Camera does him no justice. He really is growing. The girls, there's no question about them. They're good and ready for him, aren't you? And you're ready for them too, aren't you? Silly pig. I got you squealing on camera. You cannot raise these animals. You can't, well, let me rephrase that. If you can raise these animals and interact with them and not develop a bond with them, you're in a wrong practice. You really are. You know, these are not pets. I know exactly why we bought these animals. And ooh, get that out of the electric fence. The intent from the very beginning was as a food source. Now, of course, he's the boar. He's going to be the breeder. These two are originally going to be food sources. Now they're going to be breeders to give us more pigs. Pee-wee, as much as I want to scratch him and get him as docile as Boris, he is going to be a food source. And he's going to be our food source that we're going to do this fall. So there's no reason why you can't raise these animals and scratch them and pet them, and you hear the little squeals that Boris just made, and treat them right and have a great animal that has a great life. And in the end, he has one bad day and it's over with quickly. So you know you raised that animal humanely. You did what you should have done. That animal had a good life, and that's it at the end. So, but like I said, he's a breeder. I'll never butcher him unless I absolutely positively have to. Even if he stops producing babies, making babies and everything, he'll just live out his days here. I'm not going to shoot him. I'm not going to butcher him because of boar taint potential. And even if he didn't have boar taint, I wouldn't just shoot him and throw him over the hill. He'll live out his days here. All right, so yes, chickens need feed. So I'm going to go over here and do that. And I'll show you guys the area where the shipping container was. All right, so just a few things left to pick up over here that was kind of stacked up against where I had all the posts and everything like that in the fence. So this area, right there's where the shipping container set. Here's where I had to post and everything on some pallets. So I've got that to clean up, and I've got all these stones over here to move, and then my post driver to get it out of there, and it's ready. All I got to do is just till up a little area, plant some pumpkin seeds or something in there, and say, hey, look, it's an active garden site, and they shouldn't have any issues approving this. That'll be next week. Hopefully I'll find out something then just as soon as they come. But like I said, this should be ready, and I wouldn't see, of course I'm dealing with a government agency, but I wouldn't see any reason why this wouldn't pass for a greenhouse site, because it is. That's the intent of it anyways. Getting the shipping container moved turned out to be a task, because I can't tell you how many phone calls to local companies, and nobody wanted to move it. I had one heavy tow company here confidently show up and boasting about their big truck, and they couldn't get it loaded. And I don't know why, because the thing is not that heavy. It didn't weigh 8,000 pounds. And they brought a 12,000 pound truck with a 12,000 pound bed and a 12,000 pound winch, and they couldn't move 8,000 pounds if it was that much. So finally, I reached out to a buddy of mine who has an excavation company. And when I first called him, his truck was down. There needs some repairs and stuff, and they're waiting on parts. Finally, I called him back. I said, hey, where we stand with this? I said, because I've got to get this thing moved. He said, I'll be over after work tomorrow. He came over, backed his truck up, chained it up, slid it out up on there like he does it every day, took it down the hill, dropped it off like he does it every day, and it was done. And it was that simple. Wasn't nothing hard about it. Even the wife said, when that shipping container slid off that truck and sat down on the ground, she said, you could see the weight of the world lift off your shoulders. Because that was one of the things holding this up. And that's not something that I can do myself. Of course, my dozer's down right now, but it's not something that I want to drag across the property if I don't have to, because those things will tear the ground up, especially this time of year with the amount of mud and stuff that we have. So anyways, it's done. I hate being put in a position where I'm dependent on other folks. That whole self-reliance, self-sufficiency thing kind of ruins me with that. But it has from the beginning, because I've always hated to be dependent on others for getting anything done, for things like I am unable to do at the point. So All right, I'm gonna get the chickens fed, and then I'm not gonna do a whole lot of anything else today. I gotta get those stones moved, but it's so muddy right now, I think I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow, let that good sunshine hit it, a little bit of a breeze, and dry it off a little bit more, and I'll get it moved tomorrow. So recap, chickens, not enough protein in that feed, clearly. Had to go, I am going to go back to a conventional feed. Really had to alter this to get them the protein content they needed to get them back to laying hens, or back to laying eggs again. Hopefully next week I'll know for sure if we get approved for the greenhouse, approved for the spring redevelopment, and really hope we get approved for the well. So that would be outstanding right there. So before they actually come and put the greenhouse in, which wouldn't, I'd say probably late this summer, if not fall, these two trees have to come down because I don't want those looming over my greenhouse. So I'll definitely take those out of there, and that's going to be firewood anyway. I just got to clean this mess up right here, and then I'll come in there with the tiller, till that up, plant some seeds, and say, hey, look, happy little garden. All right, folks, that's going to be it. I got more stuff to do. Get prepared, stay prepared. Take care, and God bless.